Shall we?
Let us.
Indeed. Hi everyone, I'm Russ.
Mark.
And this is a Spirited Endeavor.
Prime and the Pump edition.
Yes.
All right. So we're now continuing our exploration of Glenlivet.
The Glenlivet saga.
The Glenlivet. Well, I mean, it's going to be 3 of them, so we're not talking.
We're not quite saga level.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, certainly a very long chapter.
Yes.
All right. So the first one we did was just the straight up Special Reserve, which was sort of their base model whiskey.
Yep.
All right. So this is that, but this one is also finished in rum casks, or Caribbean finish they're calling it, or Caribbean Reserve. And so this one is finished in barrels that held Caribbean rum.
Now, we've had rum finishes before.
We have.
Dewar's actually came out with one as part of their finished series, and that was actually pretty tasty. We had that one, there was some pineapple to it, some tropical fruit notes that I kind of enjoyed on that one. This one, I'm curious to see what it brings. Now, again, we had the other reserve, or the Founder's Reserve, I think it was. And as a base, it's going to be interesting to see what this does to it.
Agreed. So certainly, any type of, when whiskeys start getting into interesting finishes and everything, they use that to punch up flavors, and we found some out there that have been just absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
We've also had some that didn't quite work as well. But this goes beyond the sherry finish or the port wine finish and everything. And now they're experimenting with rum and with beer, stout casks and IPAs that we found, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So we're really interested to see what these other casks bring to the table.
Agreed. Now, rum cask is one that I think concerned us both initially because we were worried about the sugary sweetness that it would bring. But so far, that really hasn't been our experience.
No, actually, we find that it plays really well.
Yeah.
And the few that we've tried, and it's only been a few because there aren't a ton of these things out, or at least not that we've found.
Sure.
Has brought something really playful to the whiskey, and we've really enjoyed that.
Yes.
I'm kind of hoping that trend continues with this one.
Very curious.
All right, so let's get into it.
Let's do this.
Oh, a cork.
So 40% ABV, which is pretty much par for the course with the entry-level Glenlivets. And this one is, I would consider, kind of an entry-level price point for them. This and the Founder's Reserve, both around the 35 to 39,
40, yeah.
Somewhere in that vicinity. Now, I will say the color is a little different on this one compared to the Founder's Reserve.
Yeah, that was a very honey lemon color, and wow, that was a big pour. And this one is a little more golden.
Yeah.
Actually, that actually reminds me of like a lager beer.
Yeah, I would agree. I will say it doesn't seem to be quite as thin in the glass as what we saw with the Founder's Reserve. Oils, yeah. There's oils in there. Not the most oily whiskey I've ever seen. It's still a little thin in the glass, but not quite as thin as the Founder's Reserve. Yeah, it seems like there might be a little bit more going on there. Interesting.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So that's tropical.
Yes, it is.
That is very tropical. So I'm getting pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting something like papaya or something like along those lines in there.
I got like cane sugar.
Cane sugar, yes. Oh, you know what it is? Not cane sugar so much, but like sugar in the raw that has a little bit of the molasses in it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I dig the nose on that.
I do too.
That's there's more going on in the nose, I think, than there was with the Founder's Reserve.
Yeah, I mean it's still soft on the nose.
Yeah.
I mean there's no punchy flavors in there, but there's a definite citrus note in there.
Yep. Wow.
And then I'm getting a lot of vanilla. I'm getting the vanilla and a little bit of a malty note.
Yeah, the Highland background is still there, no doubt about it.
Yeah. All right.
Wow, I like the nose.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh man, that is good. Right on the tip of the tongue. It's not real crazy. I'm getting a little bit of sweetness, but that's about it. And then as it sort of hits mid palate, that's when like all the flavors seem to open up on there, and I'm getting those citrus notes. I'm getting that pineapple. I'm getting a little banana.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting like a, like Bananas Foster. It's got that sauce on it, that caramel sauce.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting in this.
This is cool. So this is one of those cases where you pick up two bottles and you compare them and you can tell where the base comes from, because the Founder's Reserve, there was that barrel spice and that oaky nature that came in on the tail end, and then the front was another story. This one fills in that mid palate that was perhaps lacking on the Founder's Reserve, and middle of the tongue, not getting a whole lot, but around the corners there's that citrus, just kind of that citrus bite that you get on the side of your tongue when you're eating like an orange or something like that, or a pineapple.
Yeah, and you get that just sort of in the right here in the back of the jaw.
Yeah.
You get that.
Oof.
You get that here.
Yeah,
I like that.
And then, so it's lots of tropical fruit for me, like orange perhaps, and some pineapple. I'm with you on the Bananas Foster. I would agree with that one. There's kind of a smooth nature to it that is definitely reminiscent of that. And then the oak kind of fades in and takes it in a little bit of a different direction. I like that.
I do like that. And what's interesting about the banana flavor too is it's not like strong artificial banana flavor.
Like
you get a nice
banana.
Yeah, you get just a little bit of banana flavor on there, a little bit of sweetness that accompanies it, that kind of keeps it from being like tannic or anything like that. And it just works in this.
I agree. The early palate is still a bit thin for me, personally, and especially in comparison to what you're getting later on in the taste. But that's pleasant. Nothing offensive. So easy to drink. And the nice thing is the flavors are holding up as I keep going back to it, which I like.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact maybe it's intensifying just a little bit. And that spice now presents is like a nice cinnamon, like baking spices. Not not peppery.
Yeah.
But kind of just a nice cinnamon and maybe a little bit of clove or something like that in there. But I'm still getting that little molasses note, and I dig that.
Okay, so fourth sip for me, I think, and a lot of the excitement's kind of faded, and now I'm left with the barrel spice. So again, it's a matter of acclimating to what's in the glass there, and as you acclimate to it, it's no longer quite as noticeable, and that leaves the other flavors. And for me, it's now thin vanilla, a little bit of the tropical fruit, but they're pushed to the background, and then the spice comes in, and the spice is definitely wow, it's sticking around too, the spice.
Yeah, the spice does stick around. And it coats the back of your throat and kind of goes down down toward your stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really good, but diminishing returns on it.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that. And again, that's something we tend to find at 40% ABV. That tends to be the nature of it. And in this price point, I mean, that's kind of the case as well. You don't get a real strong lingering finish generally at this point. But yeah, I really enjoyed the taste for the probably first 2-3 sips, but the fourth sip I started to notice it was tapering off a little bit for me. If I could get those first couple sips every single time, I'd be thrilled.
I would be thrilled with this one too.
Yeah. Really interesting though, especially having come off the Founder's Reserve.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this was another rum that I think is more of a hit than a miss.
I would agree with that. Yeah, again, we're fortunate that what we expected rum to bring to the equation is not what we're getting.
Yeah, I was really expecting those sugar notes and those. I mean, we're getting them a little bit, but they play well.
Yes.
It's not like it takes over.
Agreed. Yeah, no, really interesting. On our scale, what do you think?
I'm giving this one 2.5.
I'm with you. That's exactly where I was going to go. It was 2.5 on this one. Again, I enjoyed some of the flavors in this one, especially the first couple sips, but the fact that it faded so quickly really cut it down a few notches for me.
I would be interested again in seeing this at a somewhat higher ABV, maybe 45%, just to see if maybe that early palate is a little bit more interesting then. But really interesting, and again, interesting to see how it relates to the Founders Reserve.
I would love to see this at like a 43 or 46% ABV. Yeah. I want a little bit more flavor in there, just a little bit more. I would like to have this, but just amped up, just just to the next setting.
I would agree with that. Thinking about it, for me, the Founders Reserve and this one as well, this would be perfect for somebody that's used to drinking blends and wants to move into single malt.
Yes.
This would work for you.
For sure. And if you want to try an interesting finish, I think this is absolutely one to go for.
Yeah. Wow, the nose is still really cool on that.
Yeah. I do dig the nose on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, we sure did. We'll catch you on the next one.
Take care.